Yes. Now we're in. Can
Wow,
you
good.
you can see? Yep. Okay. Awesome. Now it's still a little bit manual process with this whole setup. But I'm gonna promise we will make this flashier the next time or the next few times. I'm just still trying to get all of these things set up, and it should be exciting. So, here, welcome everybody to our first inaugural episode of this podcast. Let's give ourselves an introduction to the audience too. So my name is Mary Grigoleski, and I'm a AI practice currently at a company called Calibrity in Ohio, USA. Although I'm based in Chicago, I also run the AI camp in Chicago and also Chicago Java Users Group and Java Champion. And now I actually have to thank Manny. He's also a longtime Java champion and also a specialist too in machine learning. He started off a few years before, so he came also from deep, very deep on the machine learning side. So very happy to get this chance to work with Manny, and he and I started talking about it, and we started saying let's do something together, right? It's a learning opportunity, and Manny comes also not just with the current hype, of Gen AI, but helping to debunk some of these things and straighten a lot of things out. And I'm learning so much from Manny too. So here it is, Manny, and I have Manny. You introduce yourself to the audience too.
Sure, thank you. Thanks, Mary, and thanks for putting this together. I know it's a mountain of work initially, but
Yeah.
once we are all set up, it'll be all great. So my name's Mani Sarkar. I'm based in London. I wear multiple hats. So I come from a back-end engineering background, but over the years I've been wearing various hats. Also, as Mary introduced, I'm a Java champion. But these days I do a lot of mentoring, and I'm involved with the KagleX project, which is actually it's called the BIPOC program, which is a project for underprivileged professionals all across the globe, and it's been running for quite some time. And this has been like the third or the fourth cohort that I've been privileged to be part of. And so what do I do technically? My day job is I'm a lead software data machine learning engineer, and as I said, I wear multiple hats. My main role is doing software engineering, but there are projects that come in as I work for a small tech consultancy. You got to wear multiple hats. Sometimes you're a data engineer, sometimes you're a machine learning engineer, sometimes you're a data scientist, sometimes you're a software engineer, and the works. And as you already know, in today's time, there are no distinctions in roles. Everybody's should be able to do pretty much everything under the hood. Yeah, and I've been involved with machine learning, data science, and the works says a little bit before 2020, around 2018, 2019. And before that, I was still quite interested in it, but I really started working hard to hone those skills from around those years, 2018, 2019. And yeah, I'm very happy to actually come across Mary, who also picked up a lot of machine learning, data science, and AI in that period. And I know you've given some talks at some prominent conferences, which I'm quite envious of. And it's great to collaborate with you, and it's great to bounce off ideas, because it looks like you and I are on similar wavelengths on many things, and
Yeah.
things I don't know, and vice versa, and it actually helps bring all of that on a channel like this. So I'm quite excited about
Yes.
our topic today. So do you want to share
Yes.
with everybody what we're going to be talking about, Mary?
Sure, sure. Yeah, totally. As such, right, it's our first inaugural episode, and we're going to be talking, this one's really like about AI, and we call it deliberately elusive AI. It's sort of like, yeah, we think we are there, but it's elusive. We aren't really able to catch it yet. But I
Yeah.
think there's so much stuff being done in this field, and the history behind, and see where it has come to today. So much stuff, right? All the hype, and then the thing is, people actually not talking about predictive, the traditional discriminative, which I learned from many just right before this, also called discriminative AI. That's like before Gen AI. So all of these things too, I think it's good to kind of set the stage, this first episode more like a introductory, right? And just talking about it, setting the stage. And then in future episodes, we will be showing code and demo a lot of things too. So today is about this predictive discriminative AI versus generative AI, and the artificial intelligence versus artificial general intelligence, right? What it is, and then also just a general discussion. I think it's just a fascinating area. And as such, in London, where Manny is almost midnight, so we're not going to keep him up too long. So we're going to have a bit of a shorter episode, but nonetheless, it should still be interesting too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this is prime time because about this time, pretty much everybody in the West Coast, right,
uh,
is now
that's
getting
right.
ready to watch listen to these podcasts, and we can actually stream stuff that they'll be actually interested in, because any earlier than that, people have just started their day and they're not interested in getting
True.
listening to podcasts like this. So yeah, definitely. I mean, Mary, you tell me, when you hear the word discriminative AI or discriminative uh, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
what does that what pops in your head? You heard these terminologies just now. Do they have
Yeah.
like some sort of a do they have some sort of a did they form some sort of a picture for you, like, given that you come from a different background and I come from a different background? What can
Sure.
you share something you feel about it, and then we can build up on this topic?
Oh yeah, sure, sure, sure. So for discriminative AI, or more like, I guess, the traditional AI, as I understand it, right, is a predictive AI that it's actually
Right.
already happened before generative AI. For one thing I
Correct.
know is that predictive AI works a lot more with statistical models too. That's something I'm aware of, and that's why too. Like, it's not all brand new. We were already using AI to do like predictions. A lot of them,
Hmm.
I think, in my talks too. I was doing research and preparing my talks, I realized too the AI used to be more about these kind of a forecast for something that has a time value to it. So something like business forecasts, weather forecasts, something with a time element attached to it. So the information has only a valid period of time of you know, uh, valid kind of data to it before it expires. But I think then, of course, generative AI is different in the sense that, it is timeless value, so to speak. You can generate an article that can last forever and you can still read it, although some things may be stale, but still, you can generate an image, it won't go away and it will still stay, it can still be valid like that. So that's how I can kind of understand, right, traditional versus generative AI,
Yeah.
and
So yeah.
like that.
So to add to that is, first of all, the discriminative AI, and as you were mentioning the word predictive, can have a single or a set of values, and that could map to the query or the input values, as they call it.
Mhm.
Whereas in the generative AI is, it's sometimes could be an endless amount of content it can generate. The other bit is the generative AI is a lot more non-deterministic, whereas
Yeah.
predictive AI can be more deterministic. But again, there are areas in where it can be non-deterministic. But with generative AI, it's like a lot more flowery version of the model,
Yeah.
where you give it a
Yeah.
little bit of, like, you give it a query, you built a model, you give it a query, and it'll generate a whole lot of content from that. Same with the image, same with any other outputs that it generates. And hence the
Sure.
it's called generative AI, because it's not concrete and fixed and discrete in nature. It can
Mm,
take shape based
that's right.
on underlying parameters. Hence, we also have something called hallucination, which is that it makes up
That's
stuff.
right.
The other bit about generative AI, it's a lot, like some people like to call it, a very smart next word or a next token generator, right? Which is
That's
not
that's right.
how discriminative AI works. So
Yeah.
and it can and that's why it endlessly generates all this data, because it just,
Mm,
using statistics, it finds out what's the next word, that's best word that'll fit here, and based on all
that's right.
the other past history of all the inputs that he has got.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the two different subjects are going, and people are
Ah.
now using it to do a lot of the work that we used to do with discriminative AI. Actually, is now moving to
Yeah.
generative AI. And so that's going to be the fun part, and not so fun
Oh,
because a lot of it can be incorrect answers or
yeah,
huge amounts of answers. And now you have to
that's
validate
right.
it and verify it. That means a human is going to end up having a
Yeah,
lot of work to do, right?
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. But can we actually use we can use an AI agent, right, to go through validation? Would that be you think that would be
Yeah, I
an
think that's a
accurate
great
thing
point.
to do?
People are doing that. So LLMs can be used to verify LLMs, but then each
Yeah,
of those will have their limitations. But then you can also
that's
akin
true.
that to, let's say a set
Yeah,
of experts or a single expert has produced some material or a lot of material, and you need to
yeah,
verify that. So you'll contact another set of experts, right? Now, both
yeah.
set of experts are going to have pros
That's
and
right.
cons, flaws, limitations, and
That's
one may
right.
be an expert leaning towards this side of the domain, the other might be an expert
That,
leaning towards the other side of the domain. So
that's right.
you have the same conundrum with human experts as well. So
That's
an
true. Yes.
LLM producing data or content verified by
Yeah.
one or more expert LLMs, as they call it,
Yeah.
that is
That's
also a
true.
solution people are working on. And then, so there's pros and cons to it. Like the human assessments could get a little bit less uh, objective and
Yeah.
quantity let's say less qualitative and more quantitative, whereas
Yeah.
sorry, the other way around, more qualitative and
It,
less
it,
quantitative,
conflict.
whereas the
Yeah.
LLM ones can be quite um, number driven, right? Because you could have
Number.
all of them could track almost the same set of metrics and
Yeah.
consistently do that, whereas I'm not sure
That's
if
right.
humans are consistent every time they compare. Like, if the expert
Which is true.
generates new data every time or amends the existing material based on feedback, then when they have to
Yeah.
reevaluate that, is there a
Yeah.
consistency in the
Yeah.
verification? You see,
100%. Yeah.
whereas
True.
if you had an LLM, as you suggested, or a set of LLM
Yeah.
experts
Yeah.
verifying that material, and there are
Yeah.
systems out there. We should actually maybe one of the next sessions probably
Yeah.
show a demo of it, and or we bring down
Oh,
an example and show how that's happening, because that'll
sure.
be interesting to see. And that's actually quite effective and
Oh,
efficient,
yeah.
because
So,
imagine an
yeah.
LLM can
And
produce
Mandy, are you there?
tons of
Yeah.
data. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very, very true. Yeah. Now, another thing too, I think with generative AI is that it knows natural language very well, NLP. But how about like predictive? I think that was the question I was trying to ask. Was predictive AI able to understand, natural language as well as generative AI or that period
So
of time?
so so before generative AI became as popular as now, and I don't know
Yeah,
when, there was this transition when
yeah,
the transformer models, and even before that, we had
yeah.
LSTMs and
Ah.
GRUs, and people were using those models architectures to do natural language processing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and there
They,
it's when they decided and figured out, actually we can guess the next word quite well based on the
ah,
corpus we give it. So we had very,
okay.
very microscopic LLMs already started being built before the
Ah,
generative
okay.
AI was. And so when they started getting success with that, they started piling it up with a lot of data and a lot more complex architecture. And that was the birth of generative AI, somewhere there. It's really
Yeah,
hard to say
okay.
when, but before
Okay.
generative AI became popular, we were
Yeah.
playing with simple versions of the transformer model, and
Okay.
other kinds of models that would support natural language processing predictions. People would use, actually I've seen people use other types of models that you would normally use for numeric analysis,
Yeah. Okay.
and then try to do natural language, use natural language
Oh,
processing on there.
to
And
to
then there are models that people would, or architectures that people would put together to do natural language
oh,
processing prediction. So basically it would be usually the
yeah.
next word prediction, or if it give it a few words, what would be the next
Yeah.
word. It wasn't,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how strong it was, because obviously it
Ah,
needed more strength than, and hence natural language processing with machine learning was successful
yeah.
totally to some extent. Like, for example, sentiment analysis and things like that. That's where it was
Yeah.
quite good. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure. or at least I haven't seen examples, successful examples,
Yeah.
of what we have just now, where you give it
Yeah.
a query and it generates a whole. That it wouldn't do that. We didn't
Oh.
have that. It could
Oh. Yeah.
it
Could.
could predict what the next word would be.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it could
But
do some sort of prediction based on all the words you've given it, but
yeah.
it wouldn't be as strong and sufficient sophisticated as the as the generative models are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
The other bit
yeah.
is that generative models are not predicting,
Mm.
right?
Oh.
Prediction
Okay.
means
Yeah.
a very contained value or set of values, right? It's
Okay.
not like endless amount of values.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Whereas
Yeah.
generative is there is no end.
Yes.
Like
It
you
is.
can endlessly
Yeah.
go on producing more and more till you ask it to stop.
Yeah. That's
But you
right.
can all
That's right.
then always constrain it with your questions and say, this is the answer I want in this domain.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for clarifying all of these things. Because it's also interesting, like looking at the internet, sometimes just different people explain it differently. They not, not two are exactly the same. So sometimes too, there, I also was kind of curious what should be what, that type of stuff.
yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely. No, the internet is full of everybody's perceptions of what it is. Like
Yeah.
I should share this in one of our sessions where I was researching a lot of the what is AI, what is ML, what is DL. If you remember, I recently showed you some presentation that I did quite some time back,
That's
where
real
we
good.
were picking up on the definition of AI, ML, DL, and how they fit into each other. One is a subset of the other, is a subset of the other. And then when it comes to something
That's
like reinforcement learning, that is a subset of two different things, right? And
yeah.
then there's
Yeah.
something called deep reinforcement learning. That is a subset of something else as well. Now, there is
Oh,
also
okay.
natural language processing coming here, but different people have different ideas of where natural language processing fits in this whole
Oh,
complex AI
interesting.
ML
Interesting.
DL subset. Then there's
Oh,
data science coming in, and now people have
that's
even
right.
more ideas of
That
where is data science? Is it a subset or is it superset? You
yeah,
see,
that's right. That's the
I should
thing.
show you, and this material is all available on the internet. I didn't
Yeah,
create it, but you can
that's
see
right.
the contrasting and which is
Yeah,
right. Both are right and both are
yeah,
not wrong, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah. That's right.
it's how you look at it. It's all on the application. In certain applications, data science is governing
Yeah,
and driving a lot of stuff. In some others, it's just a small subset. A lot of
yeah,
driving and
that's right.
governing is happening from the other subset. I think it'll be an interesting
That's
session
very
where we
true.
can visually go through the visuals of what the components are and maybe go through the
Yeah,
definitions. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Totally.
I'm happy to put that together. And I think we
Yeah,
already have some
I'm.
material online and we can show some more.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. In fact, I was gonna just quickly show because you talk about that diagram. I actually found it, and I like
Oh,
how
really?
it
Oh, why
interpret.
don't
Let
you?
me see what you think.
Yeah, why don't you screen share
Yeah,
and
let
show
me.
because we can definitely go over
I'll
it.
screen. Yeah, that's right. I'll see what you think of it. It's actually I saw it on Google, and then I thought, oh, this is a good one to show
Mm,
this particular diagram. So let me go back to sharing this
cool.
thing. Okay, share,
Yeah, I mean,
and
and
then
then where does LLM and generative AI come in into this whole subset? That makes the diagram even more complex. And I found all of
oh
these diagrams online. Oh wow! All
yeah,
right,
that's
yeah,
right. This is the
that
one from
that
Google.
makes sense. No, this makes sense. This is
Yeah,
quite close to what I have seen.
yeah.
This is quite close
Okay,
to what I have seen. Yeah.
Google says
So
okay.
yeah, so you
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah. That's
image
right.
gen, those are
Yeah,
diffusion models, and then you have
yeah,
LLMs that are large language
um,
models,
yeah.
and
That's right.
the subsets are quite correct. Like NLP is
Yeah,
actually going and subsetting quite a lot of these
that's
different
right.
other sets. And of course, I
Yeah,
think data science, the block could be
yeah,
even bigger than that. So the next time around when I will show
yeah.
you what I have found,
Okay. Yeah. What
you
you have found too. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
let
That's
me actually have
very
a
cool.
look. Maybe I have it somewhere here. It's quite
Oh,
possible
okay.
I
Yeah,
have it.
sure. Sure. Yeah.
And
When you
if we do have it, then we can just quickly show what's going on.
sure,
Oh yes, actually,
sure.
yeah.
I'll let you share
Um,
yours.
the challenge will
Yeah.
be now to make sure that it picks up the right screen and the image. But
Oh,
let me
yeah.
just find
Yeah.
the
Let's see if
diagram
we
I'm
can
looking for.
get that.
Yeah, and
Sure.
then we can. So this is exactly what I want to. This is
Yep.
exactly what I want to show. Um,
Yeah.
and I want to show the bit. Yeah.
Yep. That's right. Excuse me. I still have a little bit of my cough, but
No, no worries. Okay, so I do have something that I've just brought up. Let me see if we can screen share successfully. I know we've had
sure.
different responses. Um,
Sure.
right. So, okay, pictures. No, not that one. Yes.
Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. You have the share button, right? You should be able to do the share.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if it can. What is the name of this app? It needs to recognize the app, and then I can show the
Oh,
uh, pictures.
in the meantime, let me check. I guess nobody has asked any question. I'm not sure if they're
Oh yeah,
viewers.
yeah, yeah. What? Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'll just say yeah, yeah.
Can you see my screen share?
Uh, Not yet. Oh, here we go. Share stream. Wait,
Is it
no.
images?
Excuse me. That should pop up if you share, but I haven't seen. But are you able to see it on yours too? It should pop up right when you share. Then you can say show on the screen too.
Okay,
But
give
I'm
me a
not seeing
second.
it on mine. Yeah, sure.
Give me a second. I think that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Hmm. So, oh yeah, I think I've closed it. This is an interesting challenge, isn't it? That we have.
Yeah,
But
that's
nevertheless, we will get there.
yep.
Okay, here you go.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
I still cannot see yet. Oh, I think I have somebody that says hello. Hey,
All right.
Magic. Okay, from Chicago Java User Script. Welcome. Welcome
Oh,
to
nice.
our podcast. Yeah, from Chicago. So that's very cool.
Okay, for some reason, I think my screen share, it's not allowing me to share the screen. But
Yeah.
what I can do is, um, what I
Yeah.
can do
You
is,
you are you are on you are listed as a streamer, co-streamer too, like a share screen.
yeah.
But for some reason, yeah, yeah.
So let me show the diagram I wanted to show,
Sure.
and then you can tell me if you're able to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I have and I think hopefully it'll allow me to screen share this, because
Yeah.
technical issues aren't the most interesting ones
On your
to
side.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And
are you seeing anything now?
there we go. Yes, I can see
Right. But can you now
you
see?
are. Yes, I can see. So I'll show it. Okay. Here we go.
So
Right?
that's
This one,
the
right?
that's the all of it together, but it doesn't show
Oh,
data
awesome.
science in there. It's, you can see
That's very
artificial
cool.
intelligence, machine learning, deep
Yeah,
learning,
that's right.
conversational
Conversation.
AI, LLM.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
are subsetted as different, and you can see NLP. The
Yeah.
subset of
That's right.
NLP is a bigger
Yeah.
one, and it's covering
Yeah.
LLMs and conversational AI, and it's also covering
Yeah.
machine learning and deep learning. But it
And
also
deep.
has
Yeah.
its own world in the AI world, where
Yeah.
previous to when machine learning and deep learning and all the other LLMs even were incepted, artificial
Yeah.
natural language processing was a part of artificial intelligence. And ELIZA
Uh,
is a natural language
Eliza.
processing application. If you remember the other day, I was
Yeah.
showing you ELIZA.
Yes, you were showing me Eliza. Yeah, that's the one that
Correct.
Emacs uses, right? Actually, yeah. Emacs
Yeah.
has the very basic chatbot from the
All right.
90s.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
this is another, but
Sure.
this doesn't have LLMs in it. But if you see over here, data science, big
Yeah.
data, deep learning,
Data
they've been
science,
all
big data
munched together.
together. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
So that's. So that's kind of one way to look at it. Now back to what we already had. Then there's another one here. If you see artificial intelligence,
Yep.
machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing. So this is just to see where natural language processing
Yep.
fits in, isn't it?
That's
And
right.
then
Yeah.
so there are lots of these examples. This is another one, but I think this one is going to be more. So this is where you have
Yeah.
automatic speech recognition and NLP overlapping
Oh, yeah.
AI, ML, DL in different ways. So basically,
Intermittent.
because
Oh,
NLP and
okay.
automatic speech recognition has been constantly evolving from AI to machine learning to deep learning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so now there is this other one which is quite small. I'm going to try to make it bigger.
Sure.
Are you able to see it bigger? So remember earlier we
Yes,
mentioned
I'm
about artificial intelligence, deep
yeah,
learning, sorry, machine
deep
learning, deep
learning. Yeah.
learning, reinforcement learning, and then you have deep reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
You see that?
That.
Yeah, so we haven't put all of them together, but maybe we should manually put all of this
Yeah.
together, and then we can see a
Okay.
bigger diagram of what things can
Yeah.
be. Like, for example, look at here. Here they talk about computer vision, but then computer vision is on its own there in that diagram.
Huh.
Yeah.
Looks like we got
So
lost for a moment. Yeah. Okay, I can see now, but the red one is I need my glasses. Can't see. Very tiny.
yeah.
Computer
Also,
vision. Oh yes,
that's
computer vision. Yeah.
that's computer vision. Yeah, I've increased the
Yeah.
size there. And
Sure.
so
No problem.
yeah, I think there's another one which shows data science in focus. And let me
Okay.
see if, yeah, it's this one over here. If you see, I was telling you earlier, where if you see in one of them, data science was made a
Yeah.
subset of all the three,
That's right. Yes. Yes.
right?
Yeah. That's
Let's
right.
bring that up, and then you can see what I mean. And over here,
Yep.
you can see data science is overlapping them all,
Yeah.
right? So, like for
Okay.
example, in this one here, data science is a subset of all the three. That means it's supporting artificial intelligence, machine learning,
Okay.
deep learning, and big data.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other
Yeah.
one there, it's actually the sorry, not this one. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, this one here that I'm going to just show. Here, they're saying data science is the master superset, and everything else
Yeah.
is a subset of each other, right?
Yep.
So it
That's right.
all it
Yeah.
all depends on perception, and I think this can be right, but it's saying that data science existed on its own, and I think yeah, data science is a fairly old topic on its own,
That's
and they
right.
might have all
Yeah.
been or they might have all been developing in parallel. I'm going to
Yeah.
stop sharing now because it seems
Yeah.
to
That's right. This is funny. This I can just hide. Yeah, like that. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Good.
Is it
Were you
gone?
gonna still show something? Yeah. It's
No,
gone
that's
now.
the
So.
yeah, it's gone. I wanted to disable the show, so the screen share.
Oh.
So what I was saying is, it's quite possible AI and data science was developing in
That's right.
parallel, and they were feeding into each
Yeah.
other. And so that's why
That's
some
right.
people's
Yeah.
perception is data science came first, AI came later on. Some people say no, they were happening together and they were
Oh.
feeding into each other,
Together.
and that's why there's an overlap.
Oh.
And there are bits
Mm-hmm.
they were not feeding into each other, that those are independent bits. That's why it's like a Venn diagram. But the other ones
Uh,
say AI is a subset of data science because AI data science existed fairly before and AI came afterwards.
Annie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Back.
Yeah, I was saying that there are two parallels here of thinking. Some think that the data
That's right.
science started before AI started, and
Yeah.
that's why AI is a subset of data science.
Yeah. That's right. That's what
Whereas
they
yeah,
say.
whereas there is the other thinking where they both started almost around the same time, and there was a
Yep.
overlap, and they were feeding into each
Yep.
other.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think there are many ways of kind of looking into it too, but they definitely are all intertwined. I suppose. Yeah, that's the whole
Correct.
whole
Yeah,
key of
we
it. Yeah.
never know. No one can track and go back into
That's
history,
right.
actually, unless you do really rigorous investigation.
That's right.
What really came
That's true.
first? What was feeding into each
You
other?
can
And the names were also different at that time, right?
sure. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What if
Yeah.
AI was data science was called AI, or AI
Yeah.
was called data science?
That's true. Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
true. They
And
just call it different.
yeah, and if you see the movies of the up to the year 2000, the idea of
Yeah.
AI is very different in all of those. But today,
Oh.
machine
Yeah.
learning is AI, deep learning is AI,
Yeah. That's
uh,
right.
reinforcement learning is AI, LLM is AI.
Oh, is that, yeah. That's right. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So perception,
And it's
right?
funny.
Definition, perception, evolution.
That's right. Yes, it is an evolution. That's right. Now, talking about which too, let's move on a little bit because we also you and I we talk about artificial general intelligence. I think that would be something that we can also talk about it with our audience too. I think it's
Yeah.
an area that I don't think we're there yet. Obviously, AGI, but there are lots of research and also controversies too around it because are we really going to have machine be smarter? I think that would be the goal, right? Ultimate goal is to have machines be smarter than humans, right? And that type of stuff. If we achieve AGI, or is that how you look at it? Because we're still in AI stage, it's just doing specific tasks really well, not able to do something more complex like workflows, things like that. That's where we're also trying to achieve, right? From a development point of view, we're trying to use agent approach to do that, or at least more complex flows and everything. Um, and what do you say of it, right? About AGI? I think I would be.
Yeah, so it's a difficult question. I'll first make a claim that I am not an expert in AGI at all. I am not following it as strongly as I'm following the discriminative and generative
Yeah.
AI, because AGI is actually, I will say, actually, there's a branch of discriminative AI that I'm seeing now, and I Google is already
Oh.
developing it, and I know another company that's developing it.
Yep.
That so AGI is looking. See, first of all, let's look at discriminative AI and generative AI and see what's happening there. A lot of it is
Yep.
probability and chance, right?
True.
If you look
Yes.
closely into, because the algorithms are so good, they're able to come up, and
Yeah.
the and all of that is coming from the data itself. So if the data is bad and you haven't cleaned it
That's right.
up, your
That's right.
models
Yeah.
will reflect that. And if you clean up the data, then they say that we have added bias to the data, because if you fix the data, that means the missing data
Looks like
or wrong data
okay.
is replaced with values you want to have there, right? Not the values that might have been there, right? That means now
That's
if you
true.
make a model, what is going to the
Yeah.
model going to be? It's going to
Yeah.
be 90% or 80% the traditional original organic data, and 10 to
Yeah.
20% your hand fed data. But that can actually have an impact on a lot of the numbers, because with numbers
True.
and statistics, if you give it, you make small changes here, they're logarithmic and exponentially they can change in different places, right?
Yep.
Now that is the case with discriminative AI. What about generative AI? How intelligent is it? As
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, all of the
That's right.
generative AI, and of course, might be a false statement after a little bit. There is
Yep.
reasoning built into it slowly, but a
Yep.
good chunk of it is, it's a very good token generator. It can generate the next
Oh
sentence
yeah.
and 100 other
That's
sentences
right.
after that very
That's
easily.
right.
Yeah,
That's
not
true.
easily, using probability and chance, and checking, okay, uh, in this data set they've used the word for 10,000 times after this word, so okay, I'm going to say that's going to be the best most word, and you'll get probably sentences that make sense, or they don't make
Yeah.
sense, but they
That's right.
grammatically they look right, right?
Yeah.
So
That's right.
that means there is no logic, system, idea, reason.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no, but less of it, or very less of it. Now people
That's right.
are working on making the LLMs reason. So when that will
Yeah.
develop and become better, we can talk about it then. I, I
Sure.
I'm Claude is one model to follow.
Oh,
The folks from
and
Anthropic, I think.
anthropic. Right.
Yeah,
Anthropic.
they are
Yeah.
they're super good at what they're doing,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
giving all the other models a run for their money.
Wow.
But again,
Mm.
that's only my view. But
Okay.
there is a branch called causal ML in the
Oh, okay.
discriminative AI, ML or descriptive AI
Oh,
world.
causal. Okay.
Causal, see, because the
Causal.
predictive models you can only
Hmm.
use for predicting stuff. Generative models you can use only for generating stuff. But
That's right.
what actually humans do is what if analysis, right? That's reasoning,
Yeah.
isn't it? Right?
That's right.
What are
Yeah.
the different flavors and shapes of reasoning? What if
That's
analysis
right.
is one of them, right?
That's right.
And cause and action is the other, right? So if you
That's
break that
right.
all down, where does discriminative and generative AI fit in? Almost nowhere. None of those subsets, right? It's a
That's
total
right.
different subset. But the
Excuse
causal
me.
ML, when and I'm still learning about it, so I'm very new. So I'm going to have to formulate these ideas in our next coming sessions to bring this
Sure.
forward. Causal ML,
Yep.
when you make models with causal ML, they help make more sensible, reasonable predictions, as opposed to
Oh.
discriminative MLs, which you only use because discriminative ML will depend on the model, the data that goes into
Oh.
the algorithm will create the model. If the
Yep.
data is wrong, if the algorithm is wrong, if the human intervening or the machine intervening in creating that model makes mistakes, you have a
Yep.
model that has full of mistakes, right? Whereas the causal ML, there's a different process that is used. We should cover that
Oh.
in
Oh
one of the
yeah.
coming sessions.
I wanted to know. Yeah.
So I'm actually not. I'm going a little bit long-winded,
Yep.
but AGI is closer to causal ML than it is to discriminative or generative. That's my short answer. A very It's not a definition of
Need
AGI.
many. Okay. We lost you again for a couple minutes. Some little glitches. Yeah. Okay. You were talking about, yeah, it's predictive or discriminative. AI is more causal. ML. Yeah. Right.
No, discriminative or predictive AI is not causal.
Not causal. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not causal,
And then,
because causal needs reasoning. It needs uh, action reaction, cause and
okay.
effect. Yeah,
Cause and
modeling of
okay. So
all of
cause.
that, right?
Yep.
The
Okay.
models that
Yep.
are coming out from machine learning models don't have that information concrete. The models only
Yeah.
create models out of whatever is in the
Yeah.
data. No
That's
one
right.
has
Yeah.
actually said these fields are actually causing these results. This data is causing this results. This action is causing this, and then made a model out of it. No one has done that,
Okay.
right? But causal ML forces you to do that.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, and
So
that's like the
so in
way
other, yeah. So causal ML is really more for AGI would
it
be
is
causal.
closer it is
Closer.
closer and getting closer. So when causal ML will blend with the discriminative and generative AI,
Yeah.
which there are companies who are working on doing this, although it's a very
Okay.
small subset. 90% of the industry
Okay.
is still using generative and discriminative AI. There's probably
That's
a
right.
smaller percentage than 10% who are embarking towards causal ML.
Yeah. Yeah. Too causal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still getting trying to get my head around how that whole process works. But they do build a
Okay.
model, and they have systems in place that you
Oh.
initially give it some hints that
Yeah.
please pay attention to this field, and this field, these factors, and it'll go and
Yeah.
discover actually from
Hmm.
the data. I have these three factors. Are they more factors, and how they connected with each other?
Yeah. That's right.
So
Yeah.
when it finds that and discovers that and it creates a model, that's a lot more viable model and reliable
Yeah.
model and truthful
True.
model compared
True.
to discriminative and generative models, which have no
Yeah.
reasoning built in. Of
True.
course, that's
Yeah.
untrue because they are now working on LMs to build in reasoning, but they
Yeah.
haven't
That's
gone
right.
to the causal method, have they? We don't know.
Causal.
If they have
Yeah.
gone through the causal method, then their reasoning that they're building in
Yeah. That's right.
are more carry more strength. I mean, I don't
Because.
know how I don't know yet the mechanics of it, so I could be saying something very incorrect.
Oh.
So
Okay.
ones who are
Okay.
working in building reasoning in generative models or generative AI
Yeah. Yeah.
might be going through the causal model route, using the causal concepts,
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So
Oh,
so
very
that's an
cool.
interesting
Yeah.
topic, and we should look into it for
We
AGI.
should look into causal ML
Yeah,
and yeah, AGI. Yeah.
correct.
That
Now,
sounds great. Yeah.
the supporters of AGI do not support the generative AI camp at all, and
Oh, okay.
they don't have they don't have as much of a respect for the discriminative AI either, because AGI
Oh,
is very much on, you need to know why this is happening. What is the
ah,
reason for this answer? Where is it coming from?
okay.
Can you explain? Right?
Ah,
That's like the general
that's
intelligence you and
cos-
I have, right? If we do something,
that's
we have a
right.
reason behind
Yeah,
it, right?
realism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah, that's
We
right.
don't do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
randomly. Of course, there are cases of
yeah.
where some of us do some things randomly, but
That's right.
within reasons. So our intelligence has a reasoning, and we should be able to explain it.
Which
That's
is
what AGI, the basic
is
principle
trying to
around
achieve.
AGI, right? But it'll be interesting to delve deeper into it, and hoping the newest sessions and episodes we do, we'll be able to refine all the things we've said in
Will
this episode, and maybe even correct
yes,
some of the things we've said in this episode, because we'll have more concrete and clearer and
that's right. Yeah,
more explainable answers to a lot of these
yeah.
topics. These are very interesting
Right.
topics.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, awesome. Yeah. I think we talk about a lot of these kind of a basic thing, these terminologies today. And yeah, I think yeah, it's good. I think we're kind of whet the appetite, so to speak, right, of everybody to come and join us for future episodes. And again, we
Absolutely,
will be,
absolutely. I
yeah.
thought you said we had a visitor, and we had a guest who had posted a question or a comment or a message.
Oh, I see. Let me see. On the chat, there's no question. Just for Machik,
Oh,
just says
okay. This is
hello. Yeah,
powder
yeah.
coat. Is that the?
Powder
Is
coat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's powder coat. Yeah, that's how we call it. Machik. Yeah, his name. He's also member of the Chicago Java users group, and yeah,
Ah, okay. So
so I
so
recognize him. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
Great.
know.
Great.
So yeah, so that's good. Yeah, because I stream here and he gets notified. So yeah, yeah. So that's cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
is there any other burning questions you have in mind, Mary, that we could cover given the topics and
Oh,
subtopics of today's session? And maybe if there's something pending, we can always carry on to the new session and then pick it up
oh
from
yeah.
there.
Right. We can pick up from there from the next one too. I don't have too much like burning questions, but there are definitely questions. Yeah, lots of them, and yeah, and I think we want to take questions from the audience as well. So yeah,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to questions coming from the audience in the coming sessions.
yeah, that's
Obviously,
right.
we also need to throw in some uh, hints and maybe drive our conversations in a way that people will ask more questions and want to know more.
Sure, sure. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and we just have powder coat that just says powder coat is just my Twitch handle. Okay, got
Ah,
it.
okay.
So
I can
yeah,
see the Twitch. I
okay.
can see the Twitch logo there, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
Also,
joined
he's
Twitch. I think
messaging us from Twitch because your broadcast is
on
going on
Twitch.
Twitch
Yeah,
as well.
on Twitch. Yeah, I also am streaming to my YouTube as well. But like I said, maybe the nice thing is if we stay on our stream, then I already have like 150 people register, right? So yeah. But let's see how we can get everybody move. If we create a new channel, we need to tell everybody to subscribe to us to the new channel. But
Yeah,
maybe we can keep it here too. But yeah,
yeah. I think keep it simple, right? Just reuse
sure.
whatever you
Yeah.
have instead of trying to reinvent the wheel.
That's true. That is true. But like I said, I'm going to try to plug this thing into a Streamlabs so it's got more animation. Let me play
Nice.
around it on the weekend. So yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
during the week it's harder. Yeah, I stay up too late last night trying to tweak all of these things. So yeah, yeah. So it's small things. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So I think it's like almost midnight in London at this point, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
quarter to 12, which is fine. I'm a night owl
yeah.
sometimes, so I'm happy to stay up this late sometimes. So all right, thank you, Powder
Well,
Coat. I'm glad
yeah,
you liked what we said. Be happy to be corrected. Come back with your questions, challenges, arguments, corrections.
yes, that's right. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. Okay. All right then. I think it looks great, and then we will try to stream again. If not next week, will be in 2 weeks' time, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
let's see, because also yeah, we've been so busy, but we still wanted to kind of kick this off to get this
correct.
whole the conversation going. I think it's just great. There's so much going on. We want to update everybody. We want to make this more like an online community for discussion too. So yeah, if folks wants to join us in the future, I can invite you in too. So yeah, I'm all
Yeah,
open to that.
we'll love to have guests as well come and join us and say
That's
things and
right.
ask questions and present
That's right.
themselves.
Totally. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Cool.
So
Over to
okay.
you, Mary,
All
to
right.
do the closing.
Thank
Thank you,
you. I'll
guys.
just do
Thank you,
the
everyone.
closing. And thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
Mary.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. Bye. Bye.